on, Gnome, and welcome to your final 2019 episode of Out of the Vault. If you are new to my channel, let me just say welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. And for all of you returning, I'm sure that you are all excited and curious as to what my thoughts will be on the film that we are discussing today. Of course, we are talking about the 58th addition to the Disney Canon Classics library, Frozen 2. Once again, reuniting Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel, and Josh Gad, as well as the whole gang that we have come to know and love. And a little fun fact about this specific follow-up is the fact that Frozen, the original film, was actually the last movie that I reviewed in the first season of Out of the Vault. So it's quite amazing to see this little segment on my channel really come so far as to get back to somewhat familiar territory. So, my thoughts on Frozen 2. When I first heard that they were making a sequel for this, first of all, I had a feeling that it was actually coming, merely because of the fact that Frozen was a phenomenon. It basically was the staple of the Disney revival that told everyone that the Disney Animation Studio is officially back and we are just going back to the great glory days that we had been striving to get to ever since the end of the Disney Renaissance. So, Frozen was a very enjoyable movie. It had good characters, it had a new kind of story, as well as returning to the songs and the Disney princesses and all of those things that made Disney Canon Classics memorable and iconic. So, when Frozen 2 came out, I wasn't necessarily sure of how I was going to perceive this film. God, that cow had to be put out to pasture, because good lord did they milk it. So much to the fact that it just got so annoying, especially when it came to the songs, that Disney themselves even poked fun at Frozen in a little film called Zootopia. But one way or another, when it comes to Disney Canon Classics and Disney Pixar, pretty much anything crazy Disney in general, it's impossible for me not to get the theatrical experience. And I will say, Frozen 2 surpassed my expectations. I was extremely impressed by what I received from this film. They definitely did a lot in terms of maturing the characters, developing them even further, giving us a truly fantasy-driven story that was extremely mature and even dark at points. Every single time we had a little bit of a slowdown, my wife would tap me on the shoulder and whisper, "Are you sure that we're watching a Disney film that is made for kids? Because there is some very deep stuff that you actually see in this film." Of course, the messages of sisterhood and brotherhood and true love and accomplishing your goals and uncovering what it is to be your true self, it's all found throughout this film. And not just that, the songs. I mean, there are a lot of people that will say that when you want to compare the songs of Frozen and Frozen 2, so many will say that the Frozen songs are better, but I personally love how the Frozen 2 songs matured as well. Songs like The Unknown and Show Yourself, even though I had only seen them once, I was humming those songs all week before I sat down and did this review for you guys, and I really did like the songs. Also, I loved when the credits rolled that they gave us some great performances from Panic at the Disco, as well as Weezer even, but one of the songs that my wife and I just absolutely laughed at was Kristoff's song. Kristoff is definitely one of the better parts of this film, even though his story is so lame and it even has been done before in past Disney Canon films. He still had some really good jokes, and the chemistry between him and Sven, and him and Anna, it's just priceless and charming and fun to watch. And his song, Lost in the Woods, is something that comes off of like an 80s hairband music video. And though personally, even though Weezer did sing the single version, I think it would have been much more humorous if Peter Cetera would have done it. And I think all of you true music fans out there would agree with me on that. But I have to say that it was definitely a very good story. I enjoyed myself, I laughed, I was very taken aback by some of the dramatic moments in this film. I thought the animation, especially when it came to the landscape of the Enchanted Forest, was beautiful. Some of those scenes, especially when Elsa is riding on the water knocks, it is just breathtaking. That animation is absolutely gorgeous. There are a couple of things that do in fact prevent this movie from becoming perfect, and part of it was the story that revolved around Kristoff, just because of the fact that it is so simple and it's something that we've seen in so many movies before, but also there's Olaf. Now, Olaf does have some charm to him, but this movie we got a little too much of him, but not to the point where I wanted to yank my ears off and just make sure that my sense of hearing was officially lost because I was just flat out annoyed by him. There were just some points where I was saying, we just gotta stop using him right now. Let's just get back to the story at hand, because the story is starting to lose its charm here because of him. But I really was incredibly surprised. I think that it is a very good film. I think the fact that Disney basically caused this film to grow with its fans that saw the original Frozen was a very smart thing on their part. And I also say that even though there's a lot of people that do criticize the ending, I think the ending was very well done. And I also have to say that if they do have room for Frozen 3, because there are still a couple of things that people would like to see these characters go through, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie does make the money that I'm sure it's going to make in the box office. I'm sure we may in fact see a trilogy in the world of Frozen. It's a movie that I'm totally gonna see again. It's a movie that I'm definitely gonna own on DVD, and I do feel that when I do watch Frozen and Frozen 2 back to back, maybe my overall thoughts that I currently have now for the original Frozen will change a little bit for the better. But I'm gonna give Frozen 2 a 3.5 stars out of 4. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss Frozen 2. I'm so glad that we've officially successfully wrapped up another season of Out of the Vault, and I'm looking forward to what 2020 has in store. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.